Welcome to the show, everybody. This is our first in a series of, I don't even know how many. We'll see how we do with this, Scott. I don't want to say 37 races, 36 races.
Yeah, we'll see how far we get along, but we got to start at number one.
I think it's going to have a lot to do with how the baseball strike goes.
That is definitely true. That's a good point.
Zach Vaughn checking in from Facebook says NASCAR is back, baby. That's right. What do you think of Joey Logano in the top three? We're jumping right in. Of course, we're going to be.
I'm going to save that for later, James. But all I'll say is I'm not exactly a big Logano guy in this race. I'll put it that way.
You're not a big Logano guy at all, are you?
I think that he's fine. The issue I have with him is that it seems like he's had issues avoiding wrecks at Daytona recently. So I'm kind of pumping the brakes on Logano. I think he's fine. I think there are better drivers out there. Logano's every now and then just seems to make a stupid decision when it comes to either not being aggressive enough or being too aggressive in some spots where he shouldn't be. For me, it just seems like Logano has a hard time picking his spots. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I'm trying to see. I don't have a. Okay, so Logano has here's his stats. He's run 26 times at Daytona, 1 win, 6 top 5s. 9 top 10s, 15 top 20s.
I have a couple of props involving Logano, but his last 5 races at Daytona, he's finished 23 or worse in 4 of them. I'm not exactly a fan of him on this track.
Agreed. JC Stone says, gentlemen, start your coffins. We have to come up with it. If we're going to do this every week, we have to come up with a name for the show. The early working title that I have for the show, go straight, then turn left.
Okay.
So if anybody's got anything better than that, I'm certainly open to suggestions.
What about pit road picks?
Pit road picks? Okay, sure.
I'm making it up as we go.
All right. That's fine. Didn't Logano just wreck in qualifying too?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Look, I wish Chris was here. I bet he could answer that question. I've been too busy watching curling.
Sorry for your Team USA loss, by the way.
I know, dude. Yeah, it's just brutal. Hey, there he is. Ironically, our NASCAR expert was stuck in traffic. I got to add him here. He's not part of it. There it is. Oh,
for the record, by the way, Logano did crash in qualifying.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, he did. Oh. He tried to blame it on somebody else.
Yeah, we could have used you 3 minutes.
That's typical Logano.
Mm-hmm.
The kid. What is he? 27 now.
He acts like he's 8, but I mean,
how long do you keep calling somebody the kid?
I guess until they find somebody else. And by the way, Logano's 31.
31?
Yeah, he'll be 32 in May.
Jesus Christ, I'm old. He started when he was 18, 19.
He was the Tony Stewart Home Depot takeover guy.
Yeah, he drove the 20 car. Absolutely true. Matthew says, putting a little context there, he wrecked in the duel, blocking in the duel. Nicely done.
I think he wrecked in both.
Nicely done. Hey, Chris, did you like the quarter-mile bull ring there they set up at the Coliseum?
It was interesting. It kind of reminded me of driving, like I was talking to Jim, it reminds me of driving at Bristol because of the fact that it's so narrow you can't try to pass anybody because if you do, you'll be driving down pit road.
It's half the size of Bristol, too. That's what's amazing.
That's even scarier, isn't it?
I thought they might have made it, 3/8 or something like that, but it's a true bull ring, man. Scott, I know you haven't done it, but if you get an opportunity somewhere close to you, go watch live racing on Friday and Saturday night on one of these little tracks. It's a lot of fun. Chris, you like short track racing?
Oh yeah, I used to go to Holland Speedway up just outside of Buffalo and Lancaster for drag races and things like that. So used to see a lot of that stuff.
Chris, maybe you can. They talked about it a little bit last time. JC Stone said, "What's with the one lug nut wheels now?" Did I read that right? So what have they done?
I think they're trying to come up with a way to get in and out of pit road quicker and avoid some of the issues that we've had. I'm not a big fan of it myself. They're going with just the center lug, basically, as opposed to, having them all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
As part of the next gen thing, they actually came out with it a couple of years ago. It's supposed to just make it quicker, and it's supposed to provide the NASCAR Senior Vice President of Innovation and Race Development said that it was part of an overall goal to provide more relevance and a stronger correlation to today's production cars, but that a strong enough fastener can hold up under high-speed conditions. So in other words, we want to try to look like all the cool cars on the road that people try to drive on. Only, we want to make sure that it won't fall off when we're going 200 miles an hour around turn 3 at Talladega.
Yeah, we're going to find out about that this weekend. So what 3 cars do they run? Do they run Mustangs, Camaros?
It's normally
Is it ostensibly a Camaro? What is it?
Yeah, it's basically ostensibly one. You've got
in a Camry. They run Camrys for Toyota.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It can be it's a real mess when you look at it, because I still can't get over the fact that Toyota has a car in NASCAR, because you're so used to seeing, back in the old days, you see the Oldsmobiles and Plymouths and everything else.
Right.
And now it's
the Dodge boys and all that. Yeah, absolutely true.
But yeah, it's a Camry, like you said. It's the TRD Camry, technically, is the new version.
Okay.
Because, everybody's got to come up with fancy names for crap.
Matthew Torvik brings up a good point. He says not really that much faster with it when you're adding fuel, about the same amount of time. Yeah, especially if you're adding if you're adding a full fuel lug. I'm guessing the speed is going to come when you go late in the race and you just want to change right sides.
Yeah, because it'll make strategic pit stops that much more interesting.
Right, absolutely true. Chris, you a short track fan? You like going to short track races?
Yeah, I think you just asked me that a minute ago.
Oh, did I? Sorry. I know. And Scott, you've never been, right?
No, I've not.
Yeah. Are there no tracks over by you, Scott? Because I'm not too familiar with the island and all that stuff.
Not that I can recall. I know you mentioned that you went to a race in Buffalo. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything closer than Buffalo, and I can't really think of anything on the top of my head. I'm sure there's something.
Yeah, maybe the Finger Lakes or something.
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't be like semi-pro or something, but nothing that I could think of that stands out.
What's Buffalo from New York? 350?
About potentially longer.
About 450.
400. Yeah. Okay.
Not to mention potential traffic involved.
I couldn't remember. I knew I drove from the city to Fort Drum one time to do it.
Oh God, that's a horrible drive, isn't it?
And I drove back same night, dude. So yeah, it was brutal.
That's a long drive up to Watertown.
Yeah.
Was that back? Remember. Was that back when you had both eyes?
Yes, it certainly was. I had my little RX-7 in both eyes, and yeah, shit, we went everywhere. So Martinsville, I've been to. I'd like to go to Martinsville. The Bristol night race is on my bucket list.
That would be a fun one.
I've been by the track. I've seen it, and got pictures in the parking lot and everything, but I've never ever seen a NASCAR race there. That'd be a lot of fun. I've got a half mile track by my house, and I just can't imagine fucking running NASCAR, running the Cup cars on that half mile. It's intense. So in my fantasy league, you get bonus points for start finish differential. Who do y'all like to make up the most time? Okay, let me. I'm
just going to go quickly and just say Hamlin on that.
Yeah, I was going to say Hamlin. He's starting 30th, I think. So I mean, that would be a good bet.
Yep. I don't have the.
Harvick is actually going to segue. Harvick is starting 20th or 22nd, somewhere in that range.
I think that should segue us into something we should talk about, because, of course, there's going to be a speedway track. How important do you guys think starting position actually is in a speedway track?
The least important of any race, obviously.
Yeah, because there's as long as you don't get caught outside a draft, you can make up ground pretty easily.
That's the thing. You don't want to. I would like to. I think maybe you would like to be toward the front just to avoid any kind of early race shenanigans with some of the guys that maybe don't have a lot of laps under their belt at that track and haven't really run with a full track going at race speed. So I would think you probably don't want to be in the back. You want to be 15 or better, 10 or better, somewhere in there.
You want to be somewhere ahead of Ricky Stenhouse. That's really the only answer that you can give, right?
It's my favorite nickname in racing, Ricky Spenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
At least Quinn Hoff isn't in the field, because that guy has no driver awareness to speak of. The 00 car. I mean, I've watched him wreck people. And, Keselowski nearly beat his ass last year after he wrecked him in a race.
Yeah, he went across like 3 lanes.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a lunatic.
He kind of looks like half the people that drive here, where they try to make a left-hand turn across 3 lanes of traffic from the right lane. And that's what you deal with down here. So,
somebody was talking about a bet for any driver to get their first win at Daytona this year. It happened last year. Scott, who won last year? Do you remember?
McDowell.
Justin Haley, wasn't it? Justin Haley win last year, Scott? I mean,
at Daytona?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Haley. Let me double check, because I've got my book.
If it wasn't, it was the year before. I think it was last year that Haley won.
Yeah, Daytona International Speedway. Let's see. Last year's winner was none other than, let's see,
When did McDowell win?
I thought McDowell had won.
I thought he won did he win the 500? Did he win the July race?
I think he won the July race, but I thought you just meant like in general.
No, McDowell won in Daytona in the one in February. Blaney won in August.
Okay, so I was right. It was McDowell.
Haley won the July race in 2019.
Okay.
So I was right. Okay, it was McDowell. That's what I thought.
Matthew Torvik says Stenhouse and I are from the same city. Huge deal when he won his first race, but Rick's ever since.
Yeah. Matthew said on our show that he was he threw a long shot bet on him because they're from the same town. So
I don't mind it in general because he's pretty good on the speedways, but you got to realize he'll either be in the race at the end or he'll crash by lap 50. There's really no middle ground.
Checker
record. You might as well say he could crash by lap 10 because I mean, I remember a couple times last year he crashed out on lap 1, and it's like, wow, that was great.
Keselowski and Buescher won the qualifying races. Thoughts on taking them to win? Does it translate? I would say off the top of my head, it doesn't translate directly, but it does show that you've got a good car for qualifying. But I know that the setups are entirely different because a lot of times you get teams that just gear up to qualify because that's such a feather in your cap to sit on the pole or sit in the front row at Daytona that they know they have no chance to win. So they set it all up and go balls out for qualifying. Chris, what's your thoughts?
I have to agree with you, Scott. I mean, you're set up for qualifying, but can you hold up through the 500 miles as opposed to the shorter times with the pole and everything else? Can you battle the attrition? Can you battle the track? Can you battle the sun? Some of these guys, they hit the pole. Doesn't mean they do anything in the race. We were talking earlier, if you want to talk about a guy that's been to Daytona a lot and never won there, Martin Truex Jr., 33 runs at Daytona, no wins.
Yeah, we just had somebody ask about that, and he's been brutal since 2019 with just one finish. He has one finish in the top 20, and that was a top 5, but that's the only time he's been anywhere near the lead. So if you take a spin on Truex there, it is going to be quite a long shot.
That's also one of the reasons why I kind of have a little bit of pause when it comes to Keselowski, because even though he did look sharp in qualifying, you're looking at the finishes recently. He hasn't had a top 9 finish since 2016. He really has not looked that great here either. So I guess the question that, at least how I have handicapped NASCAR in the past, was relying, I'd say, somewhat heavily on past results, because I do think that track, I'd say, comfort is a huge part when it comes to the actual drivers. Keselowski seems to be fringe top 10, doesn't really crack it that often. I do think the odds on him to win seem a little bit too low considering the recent track record. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
Is this the first? Did he drive the 6 last year? The old Mark Martin Ford?
No, Newman did.
Okay, that's right. So he moved over to RFK Racing. So this is Keselowski drove the Blue Deuce last year, still, right?
Yeah.
So this is his first year over at RFK. You always have to look at that when they're making a move. I think there's better value out there.
Yeah, I mean, Hamlin is the only one who's won 3 times there that's an active driver. Harvick has won twice. I mean, Harvick's in the middle of the field. He didn't have a great year last year, but I mean, he could bounce back here. I mean, he's got 11 top 5s in 41 races at Daytona. 16 times he's finished in the top 10. That's probably a better ratio than Keselowski, who you said he has 1 win, 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 25 runs.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Chris. Let's talk about the guy that won it all last year, won the Cup, and just absolutely dominated with 10 wins. And of course, that's all to wash his mouth out with soap.
Yep, I call him the Lazarus of NASCAR.
The Undertaker of NASCAR.
Yeah,
that also works. Yeah, absolutely. It's of course Kyle Larson, and apparently you get him out of the simulator and things go a lot better. So, what are Kyle Larson's chances here? And let me just read. He is the favorite, by the way. Let's just go through some of the numbers here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I knew it was him and Hamlin were right up there at the top.
Right, Kyle Larson plus 800, Hamlin is plus 900, Chase Elliott 1,000, Blaney 1,000, Logano 1,100, and then it just Keselowski, Busch, Kyle Busch, and Byron kind of start the exodus there. for the next level. So, and we're going to talk about this. We don't want to give too much away, but generally the way we do it, Chris, is we make 3 picks. We'll pick our favorite and our favorite medium shot, and then we'll take a spin on a long shot. Somebody maybe to get to the top 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the way I'd say it is we got 2 picks that are below 20-1, and then 1 pick that's 20 or above, and that's going to be the long shot option. And then you give props out at the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
and of course the odds are a lot longer this weekend because of the insanity that is Daytona. Because that's the thing, you get a guy that he gets everything running right. You get the machine running correctly, and they're not going to be caught. But that doesn't happen at Daytona. Nobody's running away from the field, and there's going to be 15 to 20 minimum on the lead lap. And if that's if there's a big wreck before that, there's going to be 15 to 20 there in the last 5 laps trying to get it done. Waiting for
Just don't bet on Joey Gase.
Yeah.
Joey Gase. And do you have a personal animus towards Joey Gase?
Is he 51 or is he 53?
He's 51.
He's always 10 laps behind on like lap 7.
He hasn't finished on the lead lap in the last 7 races at Daytona.
He's like the official buffer guy. How when you're seeing the final 2 try to go through it, they're bobbing and weaving around the 51 car because he's like 7 laps behind. He's that guy.
Yeah, him and Timmy Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of fodder. What do they run now? 39,
40 this year,
and 40.
And hey, give credit to Jacques Villeneuve for Formula One guy. He's going to be on the field.
And who's he driving for?
I'll have to double check on that.
Okay,
Give me 1 second. Team Hesseberg.
never heard of her.
Say Heisenberg.
Yeah, Heisenberg.
Yeah, it's the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Where is he?
We don't know why he's driving.
Where's he starting?
He is
40th.
starting at the back of the field. I'm pretty sure.
Dead last.
Yeah, because he was one of the one of the bonus guys that got in based on his qualifying time.
Okay, very good.
Quick shout out to Greg Biffle, by the way.
Yeah, him too.
Biffle in the field?
First time since 16.
What?
Yeah, he decided to come back and run for some reason.
Okay, I have the worst grid. Okay, he's 28th. New York Racing Team. I don't even know.
In other words, we're bored and wanted to see if we could throw somebody out there.
My favorite was Dick Trickle.
I remember Dick Trickle.
Not just for the name, but the fact that he ran like into his late 50s, early 60s. Dude, I get nervous going to the store right now. I can't even imagine doing that.
Well, don't forget Dave Marcis too.
Yep.
He ran forever, and when he raced at Daytona, you knew he wasn't going to win because he was 0 for 67.
Didn't Matt Kenseth come back randomly just for no reason at all?
Yeah, he came back when Larson got suspended.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He didn't do well, but he showed up, so I guess that counts.
Or Scott, do you remember Harry Gant?
Well, sure. The Skull car, Bandit
Mr.
car?
September.
Yeah, absolutely. Staggering down memory lane here. Zach wants to know.
Harry Gant is 82.
Jesus. He hasn't raced for 3 years.
he's the Terry Funk of racing.
Oh, God. The Goldberg's coming back. 55. Goldberg's going to wrestle tomorrow, by the way.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Sting is wrestling in AEW. He's in his 60s.
And the weird thing is, it's the Sting from the band. It's the Sting from the Police, not the wrestler.
Yeah, it's Gordon Sumner. You just didn't know he dyed his hair.
Give me Zach Vaughn wants to know about Reddick and Bowman.
I like Bowman. I think that Bowman, he raced well in qualifying and he raced well in the duel. I think he's kind of undervalued at what is it? It was plus 1,800 last I looked. It might have shifted since then.
He's starting second as well.
Yeah, so. And he won 4 races last year. I don't hate that. What's our little price on Alex Bowman here, kids?
I know. I looked at DraftKings. He was at plus 1,800.
That's definitely some meat on the bone there. I think Bowman's I don't want to say a safe bet, but I like his odds to finish top 10.
Yeah,
very good.
I have slotted as probably as a good shot at the top 5, which was still plus 190.
Mm-hmm.
James, I have Logano at top 5 plus 140. I will say best of luck.
That's what like you said, Logano's like Ricky Stenhouse. He could be up there at the end, or he could get in a 37 car accident and blame everybody else for the reason why he crashed.
Hey, speaking of bad losers, how about Kurt Busch?
Boy, I told Jim when we were on the show earlier, I don't like Kurt or Kyle. They're both a couple of arrogant pricks who try to blame everybody for their issues.
Wow, how do you really feel,
I'll give
buddy?
Kirk props for hanging around, though. He's been around for a while. Kyle, of course, is still one of the best racers on the actual NASCAR circuit, but Kurt is kind of just hanging in there. Occasionally, he'll have one random, like, top 5 finish. I'd say it's mostly 20s. Is that fair to describe Kurt at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what I think of Kurt Busch. When we play, I play NASCAR Heat with my son on the Xbox, and his entire plan is, and he'll play as Chad Fincham or Timmy Hill. His entire premise of driving around the track is to ram Kurt Busch into the wall and wipe him out. We'll drive backwards on the track and ram into Kurt Busch and send his own car flying into the stands.
Nice.
Just so he could take out Kurt Busch.
We Count Money over here says putting money on wrestling is worse than video poker or slot machine. I will say it's worse than a slot machine. No, it's worse than video poker. It's not as bad as a slot machine.
Okay. And nobody said we were putting money on it. We were just talking about it.
Oh,
well, we did. We did.
I know.
Show
Hess was on because Hess was going to do our show yesterday, and then he backed out at the last minute, and then showed up afterwards.
He knows where his bread's buttered. It's fine.
No, it's because they forgot to schedule a bunch of stuff.
By the way, to answer Matthew's question though about Reddick, I actually really like him as a racer. Daytona, his history has not been great, so I'm staying away from him this year. This race. But I actually do like him this year. I think he's definitely in line to be, I don't want to say a serious contender for the title at the end, but I think he'll be in the race at the end. I think he's good. I think he'll win at least one race this season. I think he's actually that talented.
I think Matthew's dead on, though, too, because he says, he's just as aggressive as Stenhouse. So he's another guy that'll either be there or he'll be out before you go get a drink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a rocking chair either way.
Aggressive style with Reddick, that doesn't necessarily translate to success at Daytona. You've got to be patient there. You've got to wait it out. Kurt Busch moving over to a 23XI Racing to partner with Bubba Wallace there, the team that's owned by Jordan and Denny Hamlin. I think, if anything, Kurt Busch is going to be a very good mentor to Bubba Wallace. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Scott.
The way that I see it is that Bubba, of course, won a race last year. It was rain shortened, but it still counts. He's been pretty good in the speedways, and there's actually a matchup I do like with him in it later on. The thing is, I'm still not exactly sure if the sample size is large enough for me to fully back Bubba or anybody in that actual team yet. I kind of want to take the wait and see approach. Depends on matchup, depends on what your expectation is. I think Bubba should finish top 15, but he's always a threat to crash, which is why Kurt Busch is really a perfect mentor for him. But we'll see. What do you think?
Well, they're starting 16, 17 this week. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, yeah, Bubba Wallace's average finish last year was 19.7. So, and he crashed out, didn't finish on the lead lap in 15 out of the 36 races. So Scott raises a very valid point. He could finish in the top 15. He could be out. There's just it's so tough for a lot of these guys because they don't have the experience. And Daytona is a demanding mistress when it comes to being on the track. It's not like you can just skate by and think just because it's your first time on the track, you're going to do something because it's such a wide oval. It's not going to work that way. And that's where, experience favors the bold. And guys like Harvick and that have been there for so long have the advantage over a lot of these younger guys. And I think that'll pan out as the race wears on.
I'm also still confused how Hamlin is definitely one of the owners of the team. Does that mean he has extra help out there? Like he can pick between Joe Gibbs and people on his team that he could draft with? Is that how that goes? Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they share, because Stewart had to deal with Hendricks when they first started, where they shared all their engine technology and things like that. So I'm sure they pool resources on the R&D side.
Yeah, I think the chemistry might be off, though, between Kurt and Bubba. It might take a couple races for them to actually get into the same mindset. But Bubba's one of those guys who has talent. He just can't really keep his car clean for the entire race.
Right, absolutely.
Or they could wipe each other out.
Yeah,
that's very true, too. We Count Money over here says I got to go find out what BTF play was. Yeah, should we be Dick Scott and make him go listen to the video and make sure we get another view, or should we just tell him?
We got Cornell money line.
Yeah, Cornell money line. I guess that.
Yeah, see, I said the same thing, and people are like, Well, what's going on? Cornell's an underdog. Why are they an underdog playing at Dartmouth? Is there something we don't know? If there's
Maybe.
something we don't know, guess what? You don't know it either.
Right.
All I do know is that Dartmouth sucks, and
That's what I said. I said Dartmouth. I said, how's a team that is 5-15, 2-7 in conference, and 2-4 at home favored over anybody? I take IUPUI over Dartmouth.
Zach Font says completely unrelated. Bubba getting a Netflix documentary for a race that was rained out. Come on now. You know what? I don't want to get started on the whole topic of what's right.
I'm not going to roast him for it. It's not his fault it started raining, but everyone knows that he is the only African-American driver. So whether he wins or not, especially in the growing political climate and how they kind of overlap with sports, that's all anyone wants to talk about. Right. So whether he checks or wrecks, people will talk about him before a lot of other drivers.
Well,
that's like Eric Bischoff used to say, and he wrote it. It was the title of his book, Controversy Creates Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and boy, and never was that more true. And in the clickbait era that we're living in right now.
Exactly.
I will say this. I'm sure NASCAR is playing a big role in that, because I know they've been roasted a lot in the past for their lack of diversity as far as the drivers go. So I'm sure that they're very excited, and certainly almost certainly partnered up with Netflix or whoever the production company is that's putting that together. I'm sure that a big part of that has to do with trying to help out NASCAR's image a little bit. So thanks.
You think it's time?
I appreciate it. He's going to go watch it and hit the like button.
You think it's time to segue into our actual picks?
Yeah. Let's do it. We've we're about 25 minutes in here. I think it's a good time. So we will again we'll come up with usually it's something in the 10-1 or less range for favorites. Because NASCAR is such a crapshoot, the odds are a little longer on everybody. So we'll expand that out to let's see. We got about 8-9 drivers at 16-1 or better. So we'll go.
I'll say we just keep it the way it is. You have two that are below 20 and one that's above 20. That sounds good to me.
2 below 20, 1 below, and 1 above 20. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's fine. Chris, you're the away team. Go ahead and call it. Give me your. We'll do it one at a time. Who's your? Give me a top favorite that you like.
I like Blaney. I mean, he won there in July. He raced well down the second half of last season, and I think now he's better than his dad. So isn't that good? Isn't that good enough?
It's better than his dad about the second half of his rookie season, wasn't he?
Well, I know, but you got to give some credit to Dave Blaney for hanging around that long.
No, that's true. All right, very good. Scoots, what do you got?
I got to go with Hamlin. I mean, of course, it's going to be the basic choice, but he's around plus 950 on FanDuel. Most books have around 8 or 9 to 1, so shop around. But he's won 2 of the last 3 Daytona 500s, so that's always.
Yeah, I was going to say DraftKings has him at 9.
Yeah, I found 9.
Hey man, Larson.
But when you win 2 out of 3 and you finish top 5 in 3 of the last 4 races here, plus since February 2019, he has an average finish of 8.17, which is the second lowest in the field. I know he's starting from the back, but it's a speedway, so starting position isn't as important as other races. But Hamlin is just the model of consistency on this track, and I'm expecting him to be in the top 5. So if I think you're going to be in it at the end with a shot to win, I'm going to pick you to win the race.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I had him too. I was torn. I'm going to go ahead and go the other way. I'm going to take Kyle Larson. I'm going to take the best driver in the world right now as far as NASCAR goes. He doesn't have any victories at Daytona, but he does have 3 top 10s in his last 5 starts there. And just like you said, Scott, if you're running in the top 5, top 10 at Daytona, you have as good a chance as anybody to win on those last couple of laps. So give me the best driver with great equipment right now. I'll take Kyle Larson to get through.
That's why I went with Blaney, because 3 of his last 4, he's finished in the top 6. So
Right. Very good. We Count Money says, hit that like button. Yes. Thanks, buddy. Hit the like button. I'm always bad about asking for that. And I did say Scoots. Yes, I did. Okay. As far as a mid-range pick, Scott, what do you got?
So for this second one, I was extremely torn because I had 2 guys that I was tempted by that I thought were pretty comparable. It was Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. I thought they were really neck and neck when it came to looking through their actual results, the actual teams they're a part of. But since Chris ended up giving out Blaney, I'm going with Elliott at around 12 to 1 on FanDuel. He's starting 11th. He's finished second in 2 of his last 3 races here. He's finished top 8 in each of his last 3 races here. And since February of 2019, he has an average finish of 13.5, which is the 6th lowest in the field. Him and Blaney, I really think, are similar with their chances to win this race, but I'll go with Elliott. I like what I've seen. Plus, I kind of have to take a Hendricks guy, don't I? I mean, the Hendricks guys tend to do pretty well in almost every race nowadays. I'll take Elliott at around 12-1.
All right, very good. Scott, Chris, go ahead.
Well, you're still doing that. Should have set up the over-under for that again, too.
I know, right?
I'm actually going to ride Bowman. I'm going to go. He's going, like I said, on DraftKings, he's going at 1,800. He's finished 7th in 2 of the last 3 runs at Daytona. Like you said, he won 4 races last year, and he ran well in the duels. He ran well in qualifying. He's going to be near the front of the field. I expect him to finish up near there, provided, just to point out Matt there, just to make sure, just as long as Ricky Stenhouse doesn't crash him out.
Poor Ricky Stenhouse, just getting absolutely roasted here.
Well, I actually was curious, Chris, since I was torn between Blaney and Elliott. You have any thoughts on Elliott? I know you said you liked Blaney before, but is there a reason why you weren't considering Elliott as one of your picks? I'm
just not sold on Chase Elliott. I mean, we see he's so inconsistent when it comes to the way he races. I mean, plus I know he's had issues with Blaney before, so it makes it that much more entertaining if Elliott loses to Blaney.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I don't like Bill Elliott.
Okay, fair enough.
Huh. All right, well, very good.
I mean, that's what it boils down to, really.
So, and what did Awesome Bill from Dawsonville? What's your deal, buddy?
Come on, didn't he wreck Harry Gant a bunch of times? I mean, I'm sure he said bad stuff about Rusty Wallace. I just was never a fan of him. I was always an Earnhardt fan, and
Okay.
All right. I know there was always a big rivalry between Earnhardt and Elliott going through the heading down the stretch in Winston Cup series all the time.
All right. Well, you guys
it's sad still. It's hard to believe it's been 21 years since Earnhardt passed away.
Yeah, that really is. I was watching that race live. I don't know if you guys were or not.
That was the first NASCAR race I ever watched.
Oh, Jesus!
That's a hell of an introduction to the sport.
Yeah, it was Fox's. That was Fox's first race too.
I remember he bumped into the M&M too.
Yeah, that was Ken Schrader.
Ken
Schrader from Missouri actually did that.
Schrader walked away like nothing happened to him.
I told my wife when that happened, I said that is just the kind of wreck where people get really hurt because you just saw it where you turn right and you're going full speed right to the wall. So yeah.
And I read yesterday how Schrader said that when he went over and took down the tarp on Earnhardt's car, he said he knew he was dead, but he didn't want to be the guy. So they said Ken Schrader said Earnhardt's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him for that.
He got a lot of blowback from that, man, at least temporarily. No question at all.
Of course, but at the end of the day, when you're going down the straightaway at the final lap, I'm not going to fully blame the guy. You're racing.
I mean, is anybody bastardizing Sterling Marlin for being involved in that?
Right, because he got into Schrader driving the Coors Light car, and
you're racing hard in the final, going into the straightaway. It happens. It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to blame the guy for it.
Well, you guys took my 2 favorite mids, so I'm going to go with another one here. I'm going to go with Austin Dillon.
Okay.
He hasn't been fantastic. He's got a top 10, he's got a top 20, and he's a guy with good equipment that's a solid racer. For a mid shot, I think you could do best. You could do worse than catching Austin Dillon at 18-1. So he's right in that same range with you guys. So I'll take Austin Dillon there.
At least nobody took Busch.
Yeah.
Busch. All right.
Well, of course, I was required to look through the driving averages of Kurt and Kyle just to see if any of them had value. They have not.
And you found out they
great
didn't, right?
Yeah, they're not too great here. So no, I decided to go in a different direction.
Okay, and now for our long shots. This is the moment I'm sure that everybody's been waiting for. I like this guy. He's made himself into a good racer. He was known as a short track guy when he started, but he's done a little better on the super speedways, and he's kind of taught himself how to do that. And it's going to be. I'm going to take Bell. I'm really going to do it.
Okay.
He is currently.
I see him at plus 3,000 on DraftKings.
Okay, that's the best. That's a better price than I've got. Christopher Bell plus. I got it at plus 2,800. So yeah, I like. I like Bell to break through here. I'm looking for guys that are going to be part of that group at the end, because that's really that's all you can do. That's all you can do is be part of that group. Hopefully, you're hooked up with somebody on your team or somebody that you have a friendly relationship with that'll give you a little push there. Although it's kind of every man for himself with inside of 5, but I like Christopher Bell to break through there. And more realistically, I think you can probably get him at a good price for top 10, top 5. But what the hell? It's a long shot.
Top 5, 1,000 plus, or top 10, 280.
Yeah. I'll take 280 all day, top 10. Let's go with we'll go with Scott. We'll let Chris finish up there.
So this one is a name we mentioned earlier. It's going to be Justin Haley at 45-1 on Fox Bet. He's made 3 career starts at Daytona with the NASCAR series. He's finished top 6 in 2 of those 3. He's won 2 of the last 3 Xfinity races at Daytona. And the main thing that we talked about with these long shots, you want to make sure you're in it at the end. In 10 career races, he's only crashed 1 time at Daytona. At 45-1, if I know your car or you have a good chance of being on the lead lap with your car relatively clean, I will take you at 45-1 with a very good track record.
Oh, a track record. I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was going for.
Thank you very much. So be here all week, everybody.
That's right. All right. Very good, sir. I got you down for Justin Haley. Limited experience, but very successful in that short amount of time. All right. And Christopher, bring us on home.
I'm trying to debate between a medium to long shot.
Just take Stenhouse already. What are you waiting for?
I'm not picking friggin' Stenhouse. If I was picking the first guy to crash, that might be my pick.
I thought Scott was going to take Stenhouse, not going to lie. I thought he was considering it for the long shot.
I'm going to go really long, and I'm going to go with Eric Jones.
Okay. Ooh, Mr. Jones.
He's going off at plus 6,000 on DraftKings. He's actually won at Daytona. He's had a couple of rough races of late. He won in 2018. He finished 3rd in Daytona in 2019. He came off an 11th place finish in his last run there. I know he's had some ugly runs where he's crashed a few times, thanks to Ricky Stenhouse. And I think he was wiped out in the crash with Blaney last year in the Daytona 500. But at 6,000-1 for a guy that's won there and has a couple of top 3s, you can do worse.
Yeah.
The other one I was kicking around was Almirola, would be a good bet for somebody to move up for that guy who said he had fantasy league where you can move up because he's starting 38th. And Almirola, he's gone off at plus 2,500. But, he's won there as well. And he's got 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s in 20 runs. So
I decided not to take this guy, but I'm curious why both of you didn't either. I didn't pick McDowell to repeat. And I feel like that's going to be a tempting choice for a decent amount of people who just blindly decide, I'll bet the defending champion at the Daytona 500. Is there a reason why you guys also didn't decide to take him? I just thought he got pretty lucky the first time around.
Derek Cope. That's the reason I decided not to take him.
Hell, Cole Custer won a race last year.
Cope?
What's that?
Cole Custer won a race last year.
I said Derek Cope. That's why I didn't pick him to win again, because lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I think these guys, you'll see guys that'll break through a Daytona because it's a pack race. So if you're in the top 15, again, 1 or 2 laps to go, anything can happen, and I think that's exactly the case here. So I don't think there's far better drivers that are available. And that's why I
didn't he win because the 3 cars in front of him all crashed on the final lap?
He kind of was in the right spot at the right time for sure.
Yeah,
better to be lucky than good, right?
Dude, he lived off that forever. Derek Cope, Daytona 500 winner.
Yeah,
he'd do appearances and stuff, no question about it. Chris, why did you fade McDowell this week?
Same reason that, like you said, lightning isn't going to strike twice. He's had 7 top 10 finishes there, but if you look before that, he finished 39th in the second run. He finished last year, and before that, he had 5 or 4 straight runs where he finished 26th or worse.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back, he had an 8th place finish in 2018, and then before that, he had a whole string of finishes where he didn't finish better than 21st. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight races there where he didn't finish better than 21st. There's no way in hell he's going to finish up there again.
That's not good. Yeah, I agree.
He's not the best color man in baseball for nothing, Monty.
Fly ball.
Too high. I don't. That was too high.
At first, it was really high. Who gives a shit? It's gone. That's Michael McDowell's chances. Who gives a shit? They're gone.
IC says, don't watch much NASCAR, but last week I put 25 on 4 drivers and got Logano. Ooh, I hope you got him for the whole season.
I see a lot of people really like Logano.
Worse.
I'm assuming that people only like Logano because they just recognize the name and they just assume he's going to be in it. It's really a terrible track for him. Like I can't. It's going to segue into some props that I like.
I'm going to give our viewers more credit than you, who just totally slammed everybody watching right now as if they're.
I'm not slamming. I'm just saying. I just feel like if you look at Logano's history on the track, most people are backing him because of the name itself, right? And the fact that he's been good in general.
Well, maybe they're backing because he's a good race car driver. He's been a successful race car driver for 10 years now in NASCAR. That could have something to do with it.
That's what I was saying. I'm just saying on the track, he hasn't been great.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, his last 5 races, he's only finished better than 25th or 23rd once.
Mm-hmm.
Truck series tonight? God damn it, Zach. We're doing cars. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough for you people?
What the hell's wrong with you people?
Who is the Matt Crafton? Is he still racing the fucking trucks? He won like every other cup race. He's racing, or every other truck race. He's racing the cup now, isn't he?
I'm not going to spend much time on the trucks.
Let's see if I can find the truck field because I hadn't even looked.
I don't know anybody. Give me Nemechek. Whatever.
Okay.
Oh, God. Which one?
Is it Joe? Is Joe still driving?
Chris, that was my bit. I was trying to get 4 racers for the price of 1 just by saying Nemechek.
It's like going to the track and getting 1A, 1B, 1C. Yeah. He has Dale Jr.'s old spotter does. Who does?
I think he was talking about Logano, I think.
Oh, Haley.
Oh, Haley, okay.
Has Dale Jr.'s old spotter.
Oh, God, yeah. Nemechek's starting in the 2nd spot.
What is it, Hunter Nemechek?
I'm thinking so.
Yeah, it is John Hunter Nemechek.
Okay,
yeah, John Hunter Nemechek. Yeah, Crafton's still racing. Scott, he's in the 29th slot.
All right,
driving an 88 truck.
Give me Crafton. Is that? I guess that's Harvick's team. We're driving the 29.
88 is Bowman.
Oh, he's 80. Okay,
Zach, you really had to suck us down the truck racing hole.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean. I didn't know D Benedetto was going to be driving in the truck series now.
I don't think he was good enough to be in the regular, so he had to find some way to put food on the table.
He's been demoted.
I'll go with Grant Enfinger.
Okay. Any other reason other than the name?
I've watched him race a couple times, and he has a better name than Riley Herbst.
Okay.
I had a bad weekend. I went to Tijuana and I got a case of the Riley Herbst. That's not good. That's not good at all.
And if we're gonna go with Xfinity 2, give me Ty Gibbs at 10-1. Whatever.
Sure, why not? Any relation to Joe Gibbs?
Yes, he's the. I forgot what he is. Is he the grandson?
I'm going to guess grandson. Yeah,
I think he's the grandson, but he's good. He's won a couple
Chase
races.
Briscoe running in that?
What?
It's a good question. No,
he's not running in the Xfinity series. Too bad.
I don't see him here, but I'll go with Gibbs at 10-1 there.
Sure, why not?
Very good.
Just because I haven't seen the Xfinity series field yet. So,
all right. So I know there's a lot of prop action. Scott, you're in a world of despair because they've taken away the manufacturers' bets. Where
it was the source of my power.
Too bad.
You made a nice chunk of change on the manufacturer's props. However, that appears to not be available. So
yeah, those were the good old days because I always had fun.
The amount of money I made blindly betting Harvick and Keselowski to finish top Ford, with the occasional Blaney sprinkled in there, I made an absolute killing. And unfortunately, I can't do that anymore.
How about any 23 XI driver or Denny Hamlin to win the Daytona 500?
I mean, I picked Hamlin to win, but I'd rather just take Hamlin. That's just me.
Bubba Wallace costs you a lot of money because that's plus 380.
Pass.
You can get Hamlin at plus 900.
Yeah, I'd
It's,
rather take Hamlin.
it's not
You
Wallace.
get
By the
Hamlin
way.
you can get Hamlin 900 and Bubba at what 1800.
It's
Yeah.
Kurt Busch that's eating into that profit. It's not Bubba.
Nobody likes Kurt
that's right.
Busch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, that's right. You get you get Busch, Wallace, or Denny Hamlin at plus 380.
Yeah.
And to paraphrase what George Carlin used to say when he talked about names, when he talked about Todd and Tucker, all that, fuck Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch sucks.
Very nice. Haley Deegan for the win. A girl and weighs less.
Speed.
Sure.
That's a solid strategy. So what do you got a prop cooked up for today or for Sunday, Scott? What do you got?
Yeah, I got matchups. Do you want me to go through all of them, or do you want to just go one at a time?
Sake. How many do you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
I'll just list through.
Do any of them involve Busch?
No, they do not.
The beer.
So
you'd have to be drunk to pick a Busch, but
I got 2 that I really, really like, and the third one I threw in because I like it, but not as much as the first 2. First one's going to be Hamlin over Logano at minus 118 on Fox Bet.
Okay.
I'm not really sure why they're matched up against each other. Logano's finished 23rd or worse in 4 of the last 5 races here. Hamlin's finished top 5 in 3 of the last 4 races. You're going to give me the co-favorite against a guy who has struggled here at minus 118 all day, every day. That's my first one.
My first one. Scary.
That's for my 17th one. I've got,
And then in the 3rd grade,
I've got Harry Gant beating
you're trying to end a podcast.
In a steel cage.
Scariest words you can hear when you're trying to end a podcast. That's my first one.
I only got 3. So
fuck. All right. Go ahead.
My second one is going to be.
Oh, we're out of time.
Yeah. I got to start playing the walk-off music. I got Blaney over Byron at minus 133 on Fox Bet. It's juicy, but Byron's been terrible here too. He's finished 26th or worse in 3 of the last 4. Blaney has finished top 6 in 3 of the last 4. I just think Blaney's in much better form. I think he's the better racer. I know Byron had the miracle win. That's basically it. I'm going with Blaney here. I think that line should be closer to minus 150.
Now it's time to have Tony Schiavone going, tune in next week. We're out of time. See you next week on Nitro.
All right. And Scott, your last one?
I got Elliott over Larson at minus 120. Larson's finished 10th or worse in each of the last 4 races here. With a pole last year, he still finished 20th. Elliott's finished top 8 in each of the last 3. I'm going Elliott for 1 unit. That's it. That's all I got.
Very good. Chris, you got a favorite prop for us? God, I just cracked myself up.
I'm not going to be like Scott and give you 52 of them. The only one that I was going to go with was, I think Almirola at minus 110 over Bubba Wallace.
All right.
I just think that Almirola has, he's won here. I'm not sold on Bubba Wallace yet.
I'm not either. And in sticking with the theme of jumping on Bubba, I'm going to take Austin Dillon minus 120 over Bubba. Bubba's actually the favorite in that, or actually minus 110. I don't think that's a good enough price. Give me Austin Dillon at minus 120 there.
Yeah,
by the way, I said it was Hamlin,
but
yeah, I said it was Hamlin over Logano.
Okay, is that right?
That's what I said.
Okay, I said what I said.
That's right. That's what he said. He said what he said.
He asked who I had over Logano. I had Hamlin.
Hamlin is who we thought he was.
We need the guy. We need the guy roasting us like he was yesterday in the comment section. That we need to like start taking it seriously again. I think he was talking about the write-ups over at Winners and Winers. I don't think he was bitching about our picks. I could just bitch about our farm picks, man.
He can bitch about my play of the days. So
yeah, absolutely.
He can roast those all he wants.
Stop jacking around, man. Stop jacking around with the having fun on a wrestling show. What the fuck's the matter with you? Mm-hmm. So now, or you could be handicapping basketball. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, and you could have people bitching at you because you think that Dartmouth is going to lose. I had to listen to that for like 15 minutes.
Who's Dartmouth playing? Cornell?
Cornell.
You think Dartmouth is going to win?
No. That's what I had to hear from everybody else. That Dartmouth was going to win. I'm like, well, they're favored. So what?
We hope not. We bet the back 40 on it. So
I said that I had them in my top parlay of the day too. I had them and them in the Minnesota Wild.
The lock. It's a lock. Somebody's asking about the Wild in the comment section, and I didn't get to it. I just remembered that. Very good.
I'm looking at the over in that game. I just
for sure.
Panthers in the Wild to score.
Fuck, are you still talking? Okay, that's it, guys. 49 minutes. Come on.
Are we recapping?
No, we're not. Yeah, of course.
Let's tell you what happened earlier in the show.
I'll recap. I'll recap.
Here's Scott Reichel with his 57 prop picks.
Let me do it. Else, Reichel will start giving reasons again. So, for our favorites, I've got Larson. Reichel has Hamlin, and Chris has Blaney. For our mid-range picks, I've got Austin Dillon. Reichel has Chase Elliott, and Chris has Scotty Bowman. No, Alex Bowman. And for
it could be Scotty Bowman too. Who knows?
For our long shots, I've got Christopher Bell. He has Alex Haley, Justin Haley, and Chris. Who you have?
Oh, are you sure that's not Todd Haley?
Todd. Go ahead.
Yeah, I went with Eric Jones.
Oh, that's right. You went with Mr.
At plus $6 billion.
Wasn't Di Benedetto. I like when Di Benedetto runs because we have to make Reichel pronounce his name every time.
Di Benedetto?
What?
Di Benedetto?
Yes, exactly. You work on that. We'll try it again next week.
All you need is the Steve Austin thing so you can hit it. So it says what over and over again.
What?
Yep.
What?
Absolutely. All right. So I don't know that we're going to do this. Thanks. Yeah. Cross sports, NASCAR, and tennis. Yeah. Reichel, he really does it all. He really does.
So,
I don't have a social life.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're going to pitch in and get Chris a hat that fits his head next time. So
it's the headset.
Is that what it is?
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's go with that, shall we?
Hey, I had to improvise because of the fact that we kept getting feedback when, I don't know, it kept spitting out feedback on Jim.
Tell them to fuck off. You getting feedback? Tell them to fuck off.
No, the feedback from the microphone.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
No, we tell people to shut up all the time because we had one guy arguing that, Robert Morris was going to beat Detroit Mercy last week, and then we had the same guy say Sacramento was going to beat the Bulls the other day. Now he doesn't talk anymore.
How'd Bobby Morris do last night?
They lost. I was disappointed.
You're gonna say I guess he wasn't around talking shit about the little problem with Ooey Pooey, huh?
At least that game still went under.
They were laying 15 points against Ooey Pooey.
That shows how bad it is. Now, who would you take, Scott? Would you take IUPUI or would you take Dartmouth?
Ooh, I'd go to a meeting. I'd go to a meeting first, but I'd take the points with Ooey Pooey.
According to KenPom, you take Ooey Pooey. I mean, you take Dartmouth. It's straight up. KenPom at Ooey Pooey is 358 for last night.
Actually, you know what? I would take Dartmouth, but I'd consider Columbia. I'd take the points maybe against Columbia. I don't know.
I'll tell you what. If you're making that bet, you ain't going to any of those schools.
I think if you're betting on that game, you might not be able to afford to go to the meeting.
No question about it.
Even they're still 358.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right, Chris, I thought maybe they would have moved past Mississippi Valley State or somebody.
You never know. Dare to dream. I texted Reichel. We're number 357. We're 357. So we'll see. We'll see if they moved up. Hey, it's been a lot of fun, man. I don't know that we're going to do this every week, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And if we have a lot of accurate picks, we'll be on next week to brag about it. If not, fuck it, this never happened.
We'll be on anyway, just to tell you that you should have listened to us anyway.
Very good. Very good. This is a lot of fun. I do enjoy NASCAR, and there are good opportunities. Somebody said it earlier that it is a fast-growing sport as far as betting goes, and there are still some inefficiencies in the line. It's a lot easier to find inefficient lines in NASCAR than it is in the NFL. So if you like motorsports, do some research. And of course, engine can blow up. You can get spun out by Ricky Stenhouse, but for the most part,
Quinn Huff could wreck you in qualifying.
Absolutely. Shit happens, but it's again, we knew very little about it from a betting perspective, and by the end of the year, we were quite proficient at it, and we all made money. So, yeah, there's money to be made. There's gold in them our NASCAR hills, guys.
Just like mid majors in college basketball, there's always inefficient lines there too because nobody pays attention.
Absolutely true. All right, so thank you guys.
Look at Dartmouth.
No, go Cornell. Big red, buddy.
I'm just saying. Look at it as an example of an inefficient.
We see it the same way. We could all end up with egg on our face, and we'll cop.
And then we'll just blame. We'll blame Hess.
I like it. Get on the Dominator side. I don't know what you're thinking. It was all the time I had to spend capping NASCAR and in wrestling took up my basketball time. No. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Everybody out there watching, we do appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like it, share it. We never tell you to share it. So share the video. Put it out there in social media. And of course, follow us on social media. He's Reichel Radio. I am Steamroller. He is Betting Royalty. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, there you go. So follow us all on the big Twitter. You guys have a great weekend. Good luck on your basketball. Good luck on your wrestling. Good luck on your NASCAR. Good luck on your truck. Jesus Christ. Good luck on your NBA All-Star game. Just have a great time, everybody. It's a junk sport weekend. Enjoy. Let's make some money. And we'll be back and do it again all at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central on Monday, as Scott and I will do our very best to help you in that perilous journey as we all try to head back to the window. Take